we just had a roller coaster ride in the market. Last couple of days, we went through that. And when we were actually moving through that, we were thinking about this. We were discussing like this. Okay, this is the possibility there. The long previous wick shows we came in, we bounced. But looking at the price fluctuation, we understood previously it was a resistance here. Once we broke higher, that acted as a support. Now, we are coming back into that. Because always, all the time when you're going through that, you had long candles, whether it's bullish or bearish when you're breaking through that. Here, with the recent break higher, you had that long candle highlighting that the breakout is still valid. So it's coming back to retest that level, right? That's not bad. So that was like yesterday when we were dropping, and then similar time frame just after that when we were still low, we actually were discussing something like this in the Patreon. Say we had a movement from 0.2 towards $2. Now this is a short-term scenario where we are looking at like, okay, for fine, long-term we are still bullish. This would be something which we are looking at for the long term. Say we went through this, we had the accumulation, we are bouncing higher. This is the trend and all, but here on the shorter time span, say last 1 year, you are breaking that and looking at what really is happening this, because we know that there is a macro cycle, the big scenario, and there are micro cycles within it. So now when you are entering into that, you see like this. Okay, fine, we would be starting a markup. Odds are that you're going to bounce from here and enter into that markup phase. Say we have some similarity in different charts, right? Say if you are looking at this one, which is Avalanche, which is AVAX, I actually put out the chart to Patreons like this. Say we had an early accumulation, the mid accumulation, late accumulation, and we broke higher, retested, and we are bouncing. Now within that bounce, this previous resistance is acting as a support. So more or less, you would be eyeing for a bounce from there moving higher, right? And right now, if you go to Avalanche, this is what you actually see. You are bounced. Now you're retesting the recent highs. And if you're breaking that, you're going into new highs. Remember, you're moving in with new high, which is already hitting new highs, right? So that's like, you are moving in that trend and you're breaking higher. So when you are breaking a higher in markup phase, what's next? Euphoric market action. Now, when you come into XRP, you would have different scenarios. Like you can look at like 50% odds are like, okay, the pattern is evolving like this. And as you enter back, it's great. We are going to discuss through that. Don't worry, I'll take you through that. The other one, 50% is like this. We had our horizontal support, previously resistance. We broke higher. We came back, retested some time, and then we broke below. Now we're going back in. So if you are about that level, that's still the same and bullish. But when we are eyeing the market like this, we are already breaking in. Right now, this is the price of XRP, 1.0019. That means we already came back above that particular level which we are discussing here. Now this one is like a weekly chart, a little bit zoomed out, showing you where the support zone is. So yes, that shows us we may even wick towards 0.8 and then bounce. But the current level of buying support with the news popping through, that's going to be hard, because Ripple just announced this in their Twitter, announcing our partnership with Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan, which will use Ripple's CBDC solution to pilot a digital. Now that's their currency. I don't know whether I'm going to pronounce it right, but let me try. Gultram is what they are highlighting. So the CBDC for that central bank is going to be using that. Now, what's interesting in this? The real fundamental guys, the real investors, not the traders which we are eyeing at. It's not just the traders. I'm talking about the real investors who are in XRP because of a reason. Why? You look at the market, you kind of go through this, and it's clearly easy to understand. So you just go into this, you click the refresh button and look what the market is up. The market is up like 5.9%, say somewhere close to 6%. And at the same time, you see like, okay, fine, Cardano went 10%, XRP went 10% compared to Bitcoin's 5%. So why is that happening? Understand this. Now, I'm taking you guys from a little bit earlier this year towards what's happening right now. So about 80% of the central banks are exploring CBDC use case. So this is a report which came early this year. Now, when you're looking at the next one, an in-depth exploration of central bank digital currencies, where you go down and you see the central bank digital currencies, commonly known as CBDCs. Now, the main issue there is you just come here and it's representing a new medium, digital medium of exchange. Keep that word in mind. Representing a new digital medium of exchange. And go back to our last video where we discussed, say, the World Bank highlighting something. What? Value exchange, medium of exchange. Then a couple of reports in the last video I've shown you and detailed how that scenario is playing the XRP ledger as a testnet with even Ethereum testnet, right? Central banks are using it for value exchange, the medium of exchange. Then the next one is settlements and payment verification with the potential to restructure the global financial system. I don't know how many of you guys really digest this, but read it again. Potential to restructure the global financial system, the way trades are settled. Now go back to that previous video where the DTCC chief talks about, $1.26 quadrillion back-end settlements is required, and that's happening. So now, if you are looking at this, you'll have to see like, okay, there would be a public input, there would be private sector input, all of them looking at this particular technology. And you got this one too. Now, Central Bank of France successfully run CBDC trial on private blockchain. Now, you don't get the name of Ripple there, but you have them highlighting this in their report, which is again a big thing. It's coming from different areas, highlighting that, they are looking at this, saying Central Bank of France is considering using Ripple and XRP as a potential platform for issuing digital euro. For that case, it's central bank digital currency run on that platform. Now, you go through all the different stuff. There is a report, you are going through that and you are not able to get that. The report is not there now. Because understand, it's CPA Australia has released a report highlighting Bank of France is going to do this. Now, it's not there. But we all know that they are doing this. Central Bank of France successfully ran the CBDC trial. So here, what you have to understand is, with the SEC issue going on, Ripple announcing a central bank using its CBDC solution. If they are going to test their CBDC, it literally won't be like it's going from Nultrum towards Nultrum. It's going from that to either USD or Yen, Yuan or any other currency to do the settlement. So now it's going from one central bank digital currency to another. You need a medium of exchange in between. It won't be US dollar because they don't have the central bank digital currency for dollar right now. And here in Asia, they are mostly moving out of dollar. You see India, you see China, Russia, all of those are settling in a different medium. So they don't want dollar to be the reserve right now. So when you go into the macro perspective, say in our Twitter thread here, I've previously posted like a complete long thread where it's showing you what the macro scenario looks like. Say here, just Federal Reserve holds the interest rate steady. They talk about tapering, they talk about forecast inflation and all. But what do you see in the economy? That's coming towards us. And this was one interesting stuff which I would like to show you guys. Say XRP is in one transaction, then you see XLM there. So that's a trust line added there. Who is doing that 710 million, which is a huge amount there? What's happening behind? Because if you recognize this rightly, macro trend is still valid. Whether you believe in this technology or not, whether you understand this is coming or not, that still will come. The difference is, it's going to have these choppy days. It's going to have this noise. And it would be a slippery slope for a lot of guys who literally don't understand the macro scenario, who are trading this market for short gains. Now, it's fine if you're doing great. That's cool. Because not everyone can do that. If you have time, if you have that emotional balance to trade it, great. But if you don't, that's going to be the hard part. So here, you look at this. we had a big or giant monthly candle where we went towards the resistance. We got rejected, came back down, and we bounced immediately. After that bounce, you had a choppy candle saying, okay, we are going to go down, we are going to go up, we are going to go down like that for a month, and then we continued higher. So look at this. We bounced. Again, we came back down to the support. We started that bounce. So it's from 0.51. We started that bounce. We went to 1.4. And again, a choppy area where it's showing I can go down, I may go up, I can go down, that kind of stuff. And what if this is going to continue? Couple of candles to the resistance. Here, that will put you somewhere around $7 mark, say $6.5, $7 mark towards $10. Then you may correct down and then bounce towards next target, then correct down and bounce towards the top of wave 2. So that's huge number. Right now, it looks like 20x. But those who have the average low, it's going to be monster profit in their portfolio. Now understand, you have a lot of assets in this asset class where you're going to see enormous gains, where you're going to see a lot of opportunity. We've been following a lot of assets and they are doing exceptionally well. When you go into the market, you see it's mixed. Some are doing 16%, some are doing 0, some are doing negative. You got a lot of coins which are doing perfectly fine. Now we are hitting our targets. Now why is that? One, you need to know what it's going to do. Second, you need to have a ton of patience. One of the famous quote which I like is from different investors. Now it has to be combined. One is actually from Pabrai, the Pabrai funds. That guy actually highlights one of the worst stuff investors have to go through is buy the right asset at the right price, then don't do anything until it reaches your target. Because in between there's going to be a lot of fluctuation and that's going to hurt you emotionally if you are that emotional creature. Now we are all human beings, we have emotions, but to be a better investor, you have to keep that aside. Now that's why only a little tiny amount of guys succeed as investors. Even after looking at this particular scenario as the fundamentals, if you doubt the asset which you are invested in, for me that's majority of XRP, and I'm crazy about this because I know the fundamentals. We are going through all the reports, BIS, World Bank, central banks, and it all points towards one thing. If you digest that properly, your cognitive ability will be saying, okay, I'm purchasing the dips and I'm riding this in the long run. So guys, whenever you are in doubt about the price, always look for the macro scenario and then go look at the fundamentals if you are not familiar with this. Whatever is happening for a reason. When you go inside Ripple Twitter account and then you maneuver through their platform, they are showing you Ripple CBDC solution leverages a private version of blockchain and open source XRP ledger, ensuring greater control over issuance, management, privacy, validation, blah blah blah. For what? Financial innovation, sustainability, and all. Then this combination of financial innovation, sustainability is a natural fit for Bhutan to enhance digital and cross-border payments, expand financial inclusion efforts, and extend its commitment to sustainability. So what's it about? It's really easy to understand. It's about cross-border payments from one currency to another. And how are they going to do that? Open source XRP ledger. So they have private version of the public open source XRP ledger. Understand this. That's a CBDC solution because the central bank need it. And we are here at a time when these are happening. Now remember, a year from now, you would look at this and say, okay, I missed that opportunity if you are not taking that into account right now. If you haven't digested what Ripple, the company, has achieved in the last 6 years, 10 years time frame, you go look at all of those, read it before you put your money in. Say you're going to buy a mobile phone, you're going to buy a laptop, you'll review how many different products. It depends upon you, at least 5 or 10, right, before you put your hard-earned money in. So as an investor, don't just throw your money into an asset, which just some random YouTuber said, including me. Go look at these documents. That's why all the time I actually put these documents in the description below, so you can go in and read yourself and then make an informed decision. So if you are investing based on the real fundamentals, you don't have anything to worry. You just need a lot of patience, because without patience, you just go plant a tree and you need the fruit next day, next week. It's not going to happen. The process has to be done, and that will happen in between. You're going to get storms, you're going to get windy days, you're going to get all those bad days. But if you have the time, that's why we say it's not timing the market, it's about time in the market. So guys, if you are receiving value for your time in here, please do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. That supports the channel a lot. Now if you want updates on various different assets which have the potential to do big things in this cycle, and then if you have a lot of assets in your portfolio with first 100, first 200, first 300 and all, and you want guidance on that, you want to know what that chart looks like, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.